the inbound secret.
My name is Bryce, and I'm your host for The Inbound Secret, where we're talking with top performers and health experts and sales badasses alike about their strategies to optimize their well-being and performance. Once again, this is The Inbound Secret, and let's get rocking and rolling.
This is the inbound. This is the inbound. This is the inbound. The inbound. This is the inbound secret.
What's going on? It's Bryce with the Inbound Secret, and we got Trevor Goodchild here. To be specific, it's Trevor W. Goodchild, correct?
I'm glad you've got my name correct, because if you didn't, I'd have to snack that platinum plat from around your neck.
Okay, so you're dropping bars already, and I'm barely awake. I slept in, everybody. I was drinking a little last night, didn't want to wake up this morning. It's 10 o'clock here. I slept in. You can tell I'm tired. So today's exciting. I wanted to get up, even though I am a little tired. I'm thankful that you hopped on, Trevor. Basically,
Sure.
what we want to cover today for everybody watching and listening is we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and kind of everything in between. Trevor may rap a little bit more.
I will not.
Trevor will not rap anymore. So a lot of you guys have been hearing about these Facebook shutdowns, these landing page issues, these ad account bans, some glitches that happened, and basically, to put it in a nutshell, social media being really
A dumpster fire.
That's a perfect way to put it. So I'm just going to kind of hand it over to you, Trevor. Do what you do. You're the guy that we trust to come in for Facebook policy and compliance. I've worked with you a couple times. I've seen you around. I think you're the only one doing this because you're the only one that really has the track record to do it. So I'm just going to let you kind of run with it.
Sure. So for those that are listening, my name is Trevor W. Goodchild, and I'm a Facebook policy specialist. My specialty comes in understanding why Facebook has banned you, whether it's disabling an ad account or maybe they disapproved your ad. And so you're in this situation where you have your entire funnel stopped if you're relying on Facebook advertising. And my experience comes from actually working inside the beast itself at Facebook. No, I did not meet Mark Zuckerberg. No, I cannot verify if he's, a simulation or a real person. But I have worked with people that do work with Mark. I worked in like advertising, helping Jamba Juice, Toyota, Blanton Art Museum kind of navigate advertising hurdles, understand why or why not their ads were working and how to get to a better place. And then I was promoted to back-end tech, where I worked supporting Facebook servers. So if Facebook was literally crashing on you, not loading, whether it's ads manager, maybe the audience tab is not loading at all, maybe Facebook, your profile page won't even load, or a business page. I was actually working on that with the Menlo Park engineers that write the code for Facebook. And so I had this really interesting experience seeing Facebook from both an advertiser, a business owner myself running my own stuff in the background, but also from the inside of seeing, okay, this is how Facebook works on an ads level. This is how it works on a tech level. So today I want to talk about kind of what's on everyone's mind that's using Facebook in the digital marketing sphere, which is massive Facebook shutdowns. Yay. Everyone loves this when everything gets shut down and you have no explanation why. So let's kind of dial it back to kind of the beginning of this year. What happened? What happened in the beginning of this year, Bryce? February,
Well, we got hit
March.
with COVID pretty hard.
Yeah. So the thing that people are not, I guess, really that in tune with is how Facebook works algorithmically when it comes to new changes. What happened is there were so many companies that I'll put at least one on blast here right now. I'm happy to, and they can come after me if they want. But companies like Logic Pro, who started selling their crappy $50 cameras that were barely 1080 DPI for like $300. because they saw that people were at home and they needed cameras for Zoom meetings that didn't normally do those kind of things. And people selling, hand sanitizer for like $300. Is that one guy you probably read about who rounded up a bunch of hand sanitizer, was trying to sell it off, and they got him and they wouldn't let him do it. So
Price gouging, it's still a crime.
oh yeah. Well, and it's Facebook's perspective on all that is that it was taking advantage of other people's suffering, physical, economic, and otherwise, to make a profit. And so they really didn't like that. Ironically, later, Facebook was boycotted for the Stop Hate for Profit, which I'll get to later because that had an effect on the algorithm too. But so what happened is Facebook, kind of on the fly, they weren't really prepared for this, instituted a bunch of new flagging systems for COVID specifically. And so what happened is then it was very nuanced. People think it wasn't. Even to this day, some of my clients are still sending me stuff where they're breaking those rules that were set into play in March. But Facebook started saying, hey, if you're saying COVID in your ads, or you're talking about face masks in your ads, we're going to shut you down. It's against our new policy, new policy. And so as a result, when any new policy rolls out, what Facebook has to do is they have to test it out, then they roll it out live, and the engineers are basically seeing, okay, how's this going to play out on the platform? Well, they don't always play nicely with others, and what I mean by that is new policies for the system of flagging doesn't always integrate smoothly and seamlessly when it gets released onto the platform. So what ended up happening is a lot of people got false flagged for mentioning COVID when they weren't, because it's just, they're testing it out. They're trying to figure out what's going to happen. So that caused a lot of problems, especially with people that were already selling face masks. One of my other clients in California, he already had a face mask business before COVID had even hit. Suddenly, Facebook shut his entire business down because they accused him of not price gouging, but of trying to take advantage of the situation to sell products. But he wasn't. It was just a business. So those gray areas is where it becomes really hard, So that was kind of the first changes to the platform that started making things a little more wonky. And then let's fast forward to July. What happened in July, Bryce?
Well, my birthday was the end of the month, but
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
See, fucking things up. I knew it, Facebook. I knew it.
Happy birthday.
Right. Happy birthday, ban.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this year's been so crazy that unless I really think about it like in order, it's hard for me to answer that question. We've had aliens confirmed. We've had fucking hate bans confirmed. We've had social profiles confirmed. We've had Chinese government infiltrating social media accounts suspected. We've had.
Oh man, I'm still on TikTok. I don't even know if I'll ever get that on my phone. I'm so cautious about that.
I mean, we're basically the only thing that hasn't happened this year is like a meteor hit the planet.
Yeah, well, actually, there was one, and people were freaking out about it, and then it was like the size of a baseball. But so we did have that too.
So we had it all.
So the hashtag Stop Hate for Profit boycott of Facebook went on, and I think so. People that were tuned into that weren't really the advertisers. The people that, like you and me, run their businesses doing social media marketing, or in my case, Facebook policy specialty, stuff. And we're in the digital marketing sphere, the social media marketing, content marketing, blogging, all this great stuff. We weren't really part of that conversation. It just kind of hit us. We're doing our thing, and then what happens is we have Procter and Gamble, we got Samsung, we got Walmart, we got Geico, we got Starbucks going from 1,500,000 a month. This is like for one, that's just for Procter and Gamble. We're not even talking about combined, to nothing in July. Okay, we're talking like 500 million of ad spend. So whatever 500 million translates, and don't quote me on this, it's a rough estimation, but whatever that translates into numerical amounts of ads that are not just running on the platform, but running with established social media marketing teams that know how to do this and are optimized to get results, right? To flatline, right? So what happens, Bryce, when you try to scale an ad from $10 without duplicating it to $100 in the same day?
Oh, it takes a shit real fast.
Oh yeah, it completely stops. And the reason why is because you can't make an ad re-enter the learning phase at that high of a budget when you're trying to scale an ad. You got to do it incrementally or duplicate it or other methods. I'm not going to go into all that because that's not what this is about. But I'm using that as an analogy because people don't realize what actually happened here. So then everyone was like, "Oh, it's the election. It's the election. It's screwing up my ads." It wasn't the election, unless you're doing political ads. In this case, sure, it was the election. What was actually going on is the algorithm itself was trying to readapt to that loss of income. And it's not like the income, but the numerical amount of ads. Because when you submit an ad for approval by Facebook, it enters into the ad auction where it competes against other advertisers targeting the same or similar audiences to determine who's going to win out and be seen first. A lot of that comes to targeting. A lot of that comes to budget. How big is your budget, right? You can't really compete against Walmart if you're trying to target their exact identical audience. You got to, change the audience a little bit, not have that overlap. But the point is that these companies didn't stay off Facebook. They didn't just say, okay, that's it. We're just going on Google. No, they came back. They came back. And so what happens, in September? Then a whole bunch of ads come back on the platform. Millions and millions and millions of dollars of the ads come back. Now the algorithm's like, oh, I don't know how to handle this. And then who pays the price for that? Everybody else. And so we had, in November, this huge glitch, which may or may not have been related to that. It could have been tied to that. I can't confirm that 100%, but I'm looking at the pattern of like how things are working out. And so we had the adjustment to the algorithm for new policies on COVID, right? Then after that, we had the huge boycott, the taking out the money and the numerical amount of ads in thousands or hundreds of thousands or whatever, or millions, who knows? There's a lot of ads. And then reintroducing those back on the platform being like, oh shit, how do I adjust to this? Because in a lot of ways, it's still a startup. They're still figuring out how to make this work. And so then November rolls around. We do have a little wonkiness because of the election. There's, especially if you're in the special ad categories of, real estate, finance and employment, loans, all that stuff is a little wonky as it is. Now we're on like hyperspeed wonk. And then November hits and we have all of these just massive that we're still facing right now, disabling of ad accounts. And so I'd like to kind of pull back the curtain on some of what's going on here with that. And this is where there's a lot of confusion. So people that get hit with the glitch, a lot of them, I was hit with the glitch. I got re-enabled within 15 minutes after I submitted an appeal. I don't know if it's because I worked at Facebook and they were treating me nice, or I just know how to word things because I am a policy specialist. I know how to talk to Facebook, but I got back on in no time. But if you already have a track record of Facebook, you already have ads that have been disapproved, or you have ads that technically aren't really in policy. They just haven't caught them yet, and they've been running. Then they turn your stuff off as a widespread glitch thing. Then they go back to turn it on. Well, guess what? Surprise, surprise, surprise. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to turn you back on. You're still disabled because you're getting a policy violation. Only they're not making that distinction. They're not communicating with advertisers. Hey, we incorrectly disabled you to begin with because it was a widespread glitch. However, in that process, we found out you do have some house cleaning here with your policy violations on your ads. So fix these issues and you can be back up and running. Maybe. They don't tell you that. They're just
well,
like,
I want to interject really quick. That's what I've been preaching for basically the entire existence of Facebook or Google or YouTube or Snapchat, more so this year than anything else, especially since we brought you on and you've been such a valuable asset. But I keep seeing all the time, oh, X is getting me banned, or oh, Facebook is being malicious, or this is why I can't advertise here or there or everywhere, right? 99% of the time, there's only three main components to any marketing campaign: technology, offer, audience. 99% of the time, you're not compliant, you're violating policy, your offer sucks, and your audience is being affected by it. Somewhere in there, you just didn't read the fucking free document that says, hey, follow these rules.
Yeah, what makes it even more frustrating is that Facebook, because they change so fast, move fast and break things, they don't actually tell the public all the new changes and the new advertising policies that they have. Now, I know them, and I can read between the lines when they come out with stuff. I'm like, oh, they're actually talking about this, right? That's what I do. But unfortunately, they don't tell you that. And so that makes it especially challenging when you're trying to decipher stuff. And I'll tell you, this is almost like a running gag with my clients, or with me getting new clients. You know, I mean, some of my clients have included social media marketing teams for Tony Robbins, Harv Eker, Dean Graziosi. I was kind of running point on the ads for the KBB launch with Harv Eker and Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins in February this year, making sure they were compliant before they went live. But I'll tell you, like 3 out of 4 of new clients, they find out about me, they hear about me somewhere on the grapevine, and they're like, oh, well, all my ads are compliant, Trevor, but you know, Facebook for some reason is targeting me. And
just you specifically.
They you know, it's not my fault. They saw that, you know, you played Candy Crush way too many times back in 3rd grade. They've targeted you because, you know, you're tasting music really bad. Well, the point that I'm making is that this overconfidence that, oh, I'm already doing everything right. That's the first mistake, I would say, that people make on Facebook, because they think they know what they're doing, but they really don't, because Facebook doesn't know what it's doing. So how can you know what you're doing on Facebook when Facebook doesn't know what it's doing on Facebook? Because they often create conflicting changes in their policies. I've had clients who have gotten advice from Facebook ad support that have directly got their accounts disabled. Facebook ad support has actually told them to circumvent systems. I'm like, really? They told you this?
Record the fucking conversation.
Well, they got screenshots and they showed me this. I'm like, you're shitting me. Wow. Okay. So when my clients are like, you know, prospective clients, they're about to start working with me, they're like, oh, well, Trevor, you know, I'm pretty sure all my stuff's in line, but it is a glitch. I'm like, not really. It's not a glitch. And the thing is that if you have been caught up in that glitch, that's your chance to like say, okay, let me take a magnifying glass and make sure there isn't something that was maybe on the line that I thought, well, let's see what happens, and correct that. So I would say, you know, with the glitch, that's a twofold issue. One of my clients is ecom, and he does great work, but he got caught up in the glitch. Well, I got re-enabled in 15 minutes. He did not. And the reason why is because before we started working together, he had just got so many ads that were disapproved. And so Facebook was establishing kind of a trend. Oh, so you're not really a good actor here. So yeah, while you may have been, you know, illegitimately disabled because it was our fault with the glitch, because you have that history, we're too lazy to look into seeing if the ads you're running at that time were even in compliance. And Facebook's like, you know what? F it. I'm not even going to look at your stuff because you just had a bad history. So that's where I think there's a nuance there with this issue, because advertisers that weren't caught before, now they're under the magnifying glass when Facebook is going to reactivate those accounts. And so that's what's going on.
Now, talking about kind of the nuances and for the lack of a better term, Jesus, I can't talk. For the lack of a better term, kind of the behind the curtain policies and rules and like check marks that Facebook is giving you. Can you tell us a little bit about how that has transitioned, how that's changing, what to kind of expect? And then if you have any insight, what's going on with all these landing pages, all these web builders? I know the answer to this. You and me have talked about it. Like I said, I've brought you on the team. We've got a bunch of stuff rocking and rolling. We're helping our clients do the same. But for all of those that have yet to get a final answer or have some kind of information or even an inkling to what they should do, but they keep seeing all this chatter and gossip online of so-and-so's causing account bans or so-and-so's been causing issues with URLs or so-and-so, etc. Can you shed some light on that?
I can shed a small sliver of moonlight on this issue. I can't go super deep. Part of it is because this is my bread and butter for what I do for a living, but part of it is because I also don't want to throw anyone under the bus and tarnish a brand. And the other part of it is just the fact that some of the advice that I give and insight is very context specific for vertical, per industry, per time of year. Facebook does make changes quickly, but I will weigh in on what's going on with ClickFunnels right now, because that's a hot topic and people are really worried about it. And the hard part is try and Google it. You're not going to find anything. No one is talking about it on Google. You're not going to find anything about ClickFunnels. You know why? Because ClickFunnels marketing is really good and they're going to dominate the first 18 results about their business. You're not going to find anything about like ClickFunnels under fire with Facebook. But what's been going on? So it's due to PR fires. People don't really see the connection and they don't understand. But really, when you keep up with what's going on with big tech, hearings before Congress, with MySpace, with Microsoft, with Facebook, with Google, and you see them testifying. Well, this is all relating to changes that happen to the platform, because Mark's trying to save face right now. And so as a result, they've doubled down on a lot of the flagging systems that used to be kind of like, either or. Stuff that was more on the line before is now getting flagged more often than not. Stuff where you could kind of get away with it, maybe if the rest of your funnel was compliant. Now it's kind of like red flag, red flag, red flag. So what is going on right now? What my biggest hunch on this is that there's been a lot of affiliate marketers that have entered the space that are deliberately doing scammy stuff. And as a result, a lot of them have used ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels is now kind of getting a little bit of their rep tarnished with Facebook, and it's being branded as the type of interface that is cloaking landing pages to redirect to other landing pages because of how it's set up. Using a ClickFunnels subdomain, most likely you're going to get blocked by Facebook, or you're going to have like a 70-80% chance of this happening over having a funnel that's built on ClickFunnels with a custom domain, which is a little better. It's a little better. What the future is going to hold and what Facebook's going to decide on for that, I can't forecast. I myself am very cautious about looking into that and making a decision. I mean, Russell Brunson, CEO of ClickFunnels, has stated that it's C-level marketers attacking a category king using a custom domain. You'll be fine. Well, he doesn't run Facebook. So I want to believe him that it's going to be fine. I don't know what his contacts are at Facebook or the extent of that and how much they're able to get whitelisted. ClickFunnels has been in trouble with Facebook previously. I almost worked with them at one point. So I would just be super cautious. I would use custom domains. I wouldn't associate with spammy affiliate marketers. And I would just make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, minding your P's and Q's to put more acronyms into it, and hiring someone like me if you want a full dive analysis on your ads and what policies you may be violating, how to get in compliance and all that good stuff. I cannot say with certainty that Facebook won't mass block all ClickFunnels originated landers. They made big changes before, like last year when they got sued by the housing authority, and as a result, we lost the targeting abilities for income and zip code. So they do make big changes all at once. It happens. What I can advise is I got three tips for you for those that are either running digital marketing agencies, advertising on Facebook, or businesses that have hired social media marketing agencies that are running ads on Facebook. Don't mismatch your display URL beneath the headline of your ads creative, right? So here's the creative, here's your headline, and then here's the display URL. Don't mismatch that display URL with the actual landing page's URL. One of the things that I've seen is some of my clients, this is all before they started working with me. What they had is this is, I think, one of my clients in Germany. They had a bridge page before the ultimate offer page, and the offer page matched the display URL, but the bridge page didn't. So Facebook was like, oh, so you're not really leading someone to the right page. You're leading them to this other page. You must be a spammy affiliate marketer. My client wasn't. He wasn't doing affiliate marketing, but he didn't realize the nuance of that. So yeah, they're big on display URLs matching because they're going to intent.
One extra bit of advice that you and me had talked about a little bit, and I actually talked directly with Facebook and some of the tech support at ClickFunnels. Some of my dev team actually came from working with ClickFunnels and then came with us when they split off. Very similar to what you did with Facebook, where you split off and started doing your own thing. And we found ClickFunnels did actually release a document on this, and a few of the other ones, Lead Pages, Instapage. I think Fast Pages did too. The more and more of them are coming out with their own article on this, but basically it is when you do a custom domain, when you're using the platform the way it's supposed to be used, there's two different domains. You have your source domain, your main URL. You've got the preview URL, and you've got your page URL. So in ClickFunnels specifically, if you copy the URL, the total page, the funnel URL, and you paste that, that will be flagged for circumventing about 7 out of 10 times. That URL loads through a ClickFunnels server. Whereas if you go to the page, the step that you want, open it, have a new window, and copy the URL from the actual browser, that one loads from wherever you're hosting. It doesn't have to hit ClickFunnels to redirect to URL if you do it straight from the actual live page. And that's with basically any landing page builder. But just one little tip that I heard you did not mention, but you and me have talked about, so I wanted to make sure everybody here was listening.
Don't reveal my secrets. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. So tip number 2, and I mean, I kind of already said this, but people have argued with me on Reddit about this, which blows my mind. And they're like, no, Facebook doesn't care if you do redirects. Yes, they do. So tip number 2, don't do redirects. Don't redirect. You know, it's just not going to get you anywhere. And you could even redirect to a fully compliant page that is completely within policy for Facebook, but they track that. They track the switcheroo, and when you redirect, they're going to put an automatic flag on it. Now, 2018, was this the case? Not so much. It was a bit, but they've gotten super aggressive mid-2019 to present because there's just been so many people that are really deliberately trying to go against policy. And so my last tip number 3 for the Bryce Vance, Trevor Goodchild Facebook Policy Power Hour here is if you do get banned by Facebook, God forbid this happen, but if you do get banned by Facebook, this could be a series of disapproved ads that you can't figure it out. This could be an ad account that's getting disabled. This could be a business manager that's getting disabled. This could be a Facebook page that's restricted from advertising. Do not, I repeat, do not create another Facebook page or another ad account and start advertising without first diagnosing why you were flagged in the first place. if you're just guessing and you don't know what policy it is that you're violating, you're going to have Bill Murray Groundhog's Day all over again. And then the problem with that is Facebook will slap a brand new flag onto you called circumventing systems. This is where they're saying, hey, you're Ty Lopez. You don't care about ethics or what's real here in my car. What you do, you're only trying to put you first, regardless of what Facebook cares about. You're deliberately going against what we want and what we're trying to accomplish here. So you're a bad actor. You're a bad actor. This is the circumventing systems flag really kind of debuted in full force in January. Possibly it was around before that, but they just amped it up. And so as a result, if you had a different, let's say you had a misleading business practice claim that was put on your account, you didn't know that was what was going on. You kept trying to put ads out there. They kept disabling the ads. You're like, okay, well, screw this ad account. I'm going to start fresh. And you do it with the new ad account, and then you have the same copy. And then they're like, well, you were misleading business practices before. Now you're circumventing systems. Now you done played yourself because Facebook will disable your ad account. And then there's a whole line of stuff you got to do to get back on if you don't know someone like me. And so it seems simple. Again, people have argued with me about this that have no experience. They're like, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just launch a new page. I'm like, yeah, for how long? It's a ticking time bomb. They're going to get you. They eventually do. So
it's it's that Old Testament. Like, it's one thing that I preach all the time. If you're going to advertise, make sure you do it right. It has to be honest, ethical. You have to have morals. You have to have integrity in what you do. Trying to just blatantly abuse and misuse a system does not show ethics, moral, integrity, doesn't show any of those. Why would you want to purposefully go out and violate like your three biggest powerful moves and really what makes you a good person to begin with, just to try and get around something that you could just solve if you did it the right way?
And as much as I do support integrity and as much as I do support being a good person, I'm just going to lay it to you straight with just business. That's not a sustainable model. You can't do that forever. It's only going to last so long, and then it's going to become more difficult and even harder and harder to get around it. It's better to understand why what's happening is happening, find a way through that by being compliant and, playing the game. You got to play the game to win. So that's what I got, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I know everybody was super excited about this. The second I started seeing this all come out, I'm like, oh, we got the guy. We got the guy. Let's get him on. So I appreciate you coming out. Now, for everybody who's watched and listened and dealt with me coughing because I have bronchitis from COVID, yes, I got COVID about a month ago. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was kind of like a shitty flu, but it did give me bronchitis. So I got this cough thing going on for apparently the rest of my life.
Checked out with the hospital. Get some antibiotics.
I need to. I haven't made it back. I did go see my family physician before, and he was basically just like, well, it's going to suck for like 3 months. So I'll go get another appointment. But that's besides the point. Anybody who needs some help, wants a review, wants an audit, wants a full breakdown of kind of how their ecosystem looks, feel free to ping me, drop it in the comments, or shoot me a message. And then anybody looking to get their ad account back, avoid a ban, have an investigation done, make sure you're compliant. You can also ping me. I'll put you in contact with Trevor, or you can go to trevorwgoodchild.com and you can get in contact with him directly.
Well, I'll even go one further. All right. If you want me to be that Sherpa to help lead you up the mountain of Facebook policies, which you can't do by yourself because all the policies that you're being held to aren't being told to you, reach out to me if that sounds like a journey that you want to go on at trevorwgoodchild.com. And if you send me an offer to build a website for me, I will mark you as spam and you will not email me again. I get those all the time. Every week, some new person's like, I will offer to build your website. Did you not see my website? I built the website.
it's there.
Yeah, it's the who is data. They get my
Yeah.
email and they're like, let me pitch to you.
Yep.
But yeah,
All right, brother. I appreciate you coming on. I know everybody watching appreciates it. Everybody remember Trevor at trevorwgoodchild.com. And I'll just up the ante too. You can catch me at Bryce at drivenroi.com as well. Make sure to check Trevor's stuff out. You can always find me here at the Inbound Secret and Funnel Driven. And if you're in Virtually Limitless, stay limitless, y'all.
catch me outside.
This is the Inbound Secret.
My name is Bryce, and I'm your host for The Inbound Secret, where we're talking with top performers and health experts and sales badasses alike about their strategies to optimize their well-being and performance. Once again, this is The Inbound Secret, and let's get rocking and rolling.
This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound.